I'm going to start off. We'll let people join as they will, but I do want to start with just introducing myself. My name is Josh. I have no problem. One other thing I'll mention for you, and I'm going to go into this for meditation, is don't ever judge yourself. Don't ever feel like you haven't done it long enough. Start actually when you're done meditation, giving yourself credit for what you were just able to do. When I started, I was maybe doing 5 minutes, and that was my big problem. Is I had so many thoughts, I thought I had to stop them. It's not the way to do it. And once I started getting into it, I do about 30 minutes to an hour meditation now, and you really get a sense of what your inner being is. So I'm going to start anyway, just because it's 2:04, and as people join, they join. But I want to give you a little bit of background on my story and what has happened for me. Back in June of 2023, I was in this apartment here, which I'm moving out of soon, part of manifestation, but I'm actually moving on the 28th or 29th, whatever next Thursday is. So I'm sitting in my apartment and I was listening to the song. I don't know if you ever heard Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the ukulele version. And I'm just kind of relaxing. And I felt this weird presence over my shoulder. And can't explain to you exactly what the presence was at first. I was like, that was weird. Kind of felt this like something was looking at me. And as I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was so strange. And I kind of get back into the song, feel this presence again. And the TV right behind you, I'm going to show you right here. My TV right here is where I saw a picture pop up on the TV. And I don't know if it was my brain that did it. I don't know how it happened, but a picture of my ex-wife, who I'm still in love with. She's, I forgave myself for a lot of things that happened during all that. And I saw a picture of her smiling. I'm like, what is happening? So as I'm doing this, if you can see here, there is that window right there, the one that is lighter. That happened to be there was this bright glowing light in the window. And to be honest with you, I never was a spiritual person. I never was religious, any of those things. I actually was against them because I thought that they tried to manipulate and control people. So it wasn't something that I ever thought was going to happen. And what happened was, as I'm doing this, I get this feeling over my body and a sense of something is behind me. And I see this light and I start to walk towards it. I truly thought I was dying. I had no idea what was happening. And as I'm walking towards this light that's in the window, all I remember saying is, and it was a blur, it felt like a dream. I remember saying, please let me say goodbye to my dad and my brother before I go. And it wasn't English, it wasn't spoken words, but I heard in my head, no, that's not what this is about. Come with me, trust me, we're here to teach. So about 5 minutes, it felt like 5 minutes, it could have been 10 seconds. But as I go and approach this, I see this enormous ball of light, like a clear-cut symbol in the window of a circular ball of light. I felt this love that I've always been an empathetic person. I've always had a lot of love for people, no matter what my circumstances were in my life. But the love that I felt from this experience, I was crying. I was so emotional. The love that I felt from this experience and from what I'm thinking of it as is the source of all of us. You call it God, the universe. The feeling that I had, the love that I felt was so far beyond anything that I can explain to you. It put me on this journey because I would have never went as far as I've gone right now. I would have stayed in my great job. I would have kept making money. I was doing finance for a long time. And that showed me a different way of being. It showed me that there is a connectedness to all of us. We are all one collective consciousness trying to help each other raise our vibrations and our consciousness levels. But I can promise you that your family is there, any ones that have passed away, your pets. There is a connectedness to everything that when you feel that one day, because you will, a lot of us are going to start feeling these things, was so amazing and so loving that it made me go on this 9-month journey to be a seeker. That's what I would say is the biggest thing as of now, is becoming a seeker of what your inner being is really trying to tell you. When I came to, and this being taught me how to read these energies, it was slowly this little ball of energy. I know you're not going to be able to see anything. That's a lot of it is trust, not in me. I mean, you can trust me or you don't have to, but a lot of what you're going to find on your spiritual journey is trust. You're going to have to surrender some things. But started with this little ball of energy in my stomach, the pit of my stomach right here. And it was just this little thing that I could feel for the longest time. And well, for that night. And it's grown now to a point of where I'm able to feel auras of people. You can feel energies in trees, you can feel energies in rocks, but this thing now has gone to show me, well, what I've taught myself and raised my vibrations is we are all connected through energy, frequency, and vibration. Please do not think that anything I'm going to say to you tomorrow, you're going to wake up and this is going to be the same energy you have. But you can learn these things and you can start to feel what your energy is. You can start to make an imprint on the universe with your own energetic field, and you can start to draw experiences and people towards you that align with your inner being. So I will just tell you this. I want to make sure I hit on about 5 or 6 things here, but please know you are loved. You are guided. We just aren't able to calm our mind enough to be able to see these things. So that's the biggest thing that I will, through this whole time, that I want you to realize is that you have the same ability I do. You have different ones. There's all these different abilities we have that we're not able to cultivate because we have too much going on in our lives or too much going on in our, with our mind, and we're not able to still it. I will just tell you that as you start to calm your mind, as you start to become more meditative, it's called the flow state. You will start to see synchronicities in your life when you're not having so much going on upstairs. So I'm just going to give you but I do want that to be the theme for all of this, is you are loved and you are connected. I'm connected to all of you. You are all connected to me. And when you start to see that, things start to align in your highest good. There's a couple big things you want to think about, and I'm going to post this in like a Word document or something. So if you want to, you can take notes on this, but that's a huge part of your journey because your mind will run. It's always going to. It's impossible to stop it. But you want to start to write things down because it will give you a sense of, oh, I remember this. Oh, I can integrate this into something else. And I will tell you that since I've started to journal and write things down, I've noticed that dreams are connecting and they're coming to fruition in life. I've noticed that when I'm meditating, sometimes I can actually feel, I've already felt myself. I'm moving to Florida and I felt and saw in a vision, I saw and felt myself meditating on the beach. And right when I was done, I got a call from the exact place I was moving that I've never been to before from a number that didn't exist. So I will just tell you that when you write things down, it helps you to be able to connect the dots in different areas of your life. And for me personally, if I would have told myself my experience a year ago before this happened, I would have said, that guy's not telling the truth. There's no way. But I will tell you, the less skeptical you are, the less judgmental you are, that starts to help you raise your vibration. So the first thing that I think is the biggest for people is working with what's called shadow work. I'm sure you've heard of it before, but shadow work really it's all of your stored up trauma, all of your stored up, embarrassments you had, fights you've had with people that you're still in relationships. It's all your darkest places that you feel the worst about yourself. And you need to sit with those. A lot of times people will just let them go. They won't think about them. They won't feel those experiences and let them release to the universe. So what you need to do is, and don't judge yourself for anything you do. Please do not judge yourself. You are the creator, the universe, God, whatever you want to say, they are directly that God, you are a perfect version of yourself. You are the universe experiencing itself. And I want you to know that you are connected to source. You are connected to the universe further than you ever think. You're getting signs right now that you probably don't even notice. And it's just because you need to do the calmness of the mind and trying to find those signs. But your shadow work is what will start to raise your vibration immediately. I'll give you an example of what my shadow work was. That way you can kind of get a better feeling for it. So with my shadow work, what I did was I had drug problems. I used to drink a lot on the weekends because my job was so stressful. I had a divorce that I never really healed from. I had family issues where I was feeling like I was giving so much love and not receiving anything. But what I started to do was write things down that bothered me or that I felt were my darkest areas of my life. Why did I do drugs? What was the habit for that? What was the thought behind it? And what you start to do with that shadow work is you start to realize that, first of all, most of the things in your life are not that big of a deal. You just don't ever sit with them and release them so they stay with you as long as possible. When you start to release them, you will start to feel better about yourself. You will start to feel more connected to your inner soul. So you want to sit with these things, make sure you understand what they are, why they're there. But mine was the divorce, why I did drugs for so long, why I was drinking excessively, weekdays, weekends, whatever it was. My mom passed away from alcoholism when I was young. I never sat with that and truly understood what that did to me as a kid. And when I started to do that, one, I became at peace with it all. So none of the past stuff bothers me at all anymore. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned what habits. I'm not perfect with doing things. I don't drink because I think it's terrible and it's poisonous, but I don't judge myself for anything, because when you start to become the best version of yourself, when you start to love yourself, that your inner love starts to reflect into the world. People see you differently. You start to see other people different, because when you're judging things, yourself, experiences, other people, that's really just your inner self. You're pretty much judging yourself. And you want to avoid that the best you can. That is a low vibrational thought process. You are lowering your vibration by being negative about yourself or others. Okay. So again, sit down, journal this stuff, and please don't judge yourself for this. You did nothing wrong. You are living a life and you just release it. And the way I released it was, and this is what I learned from a guru, was when you release these things, say it. Let's just say for me, when I did my drug thing, or let's use my ex-wife, because again, she was something that was so integral in my life. I sat there, I sat with it. I understood why I had all those feelings. Universe, I thank you for showing me the darkness inside of me. I am okay with this. I don't judge myself for any of it. And I release these negative thoughts and emotions back into the universe. I'm not going to tell you that immediately you're never going to think about it again. But as you meditate or as you do these journalings, you will start to notice that some of them just go away. They don't come back. And it's beautiful. To love yourself is beautiful. So you need to do shadow work. The next part, this is kind of going in the form of, and if this is a little too high for some of you, it's okay. But maybe you can always come back to it later. Raising your vibrations and how you do that. I can't tell you exactly how it's going to happen for you. I can tell you that there are what worked for me. And I can also tell you there are just some universal things that happen for everyone when you're starting to raise your vibration. So one, you need to start changing your negative thoughts and your negative beliefs. It's not the easiest thing to do. We're taught that from the news, from parents, from colleagues, from friends, all these things. A lot of times people you ever hear that saying, what's the worst that could happen? That's a bad way to think about it. Think about it in more terms of what's the best that could happen. Because what I do is I sit down, I meditate. Sometimes when the negative thoughts come in, I flip them to positive things I'm grateful for. Gratitude will start to change. Gratitude and anxiety are in the same part of the brain. They can't coexist together. So when you start to be grateful for things, when you're having negative thoughts, you'll slowly start to get those out of your way. And the best part about the gratitude is you can look at any of the teachers that I'm going to give to you in a little bit. They all teach the same thing. Gratitude will start to bring things into your life because you're showing the universe, I'm grateful for what I have, and things will start to come to you. It's amazing the things that start to come to you as you do this. So one is flipping those positive thoughts. Do some affirmations maybe. Mine are, I am joyful, I am loving, I am kind, I am prosperous in everything that I do. I am abundant. Everything is always working out for my best good, no matter what the current situation looks like, because 90% of your thoughts today are going to be tomorrow's thoughts. So even if you're not ever going to change all of them in one day, but when you start to change some of them, you will start to notice you're being grateful for more things. Some of your thoughts tomorrow are more positive. They are less judgmental. Start to flip some of them, and you'll notice that it starts just to become a daily practice and a routine. So that's one thing. Eating better. This is something, it's completely up to you. I'm not going to tell you go on a crazy diet tomorrow. That doesn't work for people to just completely change your life. But I can tell you, your digestion and your connectedness to your body also relates to your brain. So fresh fruit gets out of your digestive tract in about an hour to 3 hours, depending on what you eat. Vegetables usually are about 8 to 12 hours. When you eat red meats, it could be anywhere from 48 to 52 hours at the highest. Think about if you took a steak, threw it in the summer heat at 98 degrees and let it sit there for 2 days. It would be disgusting. So starting to be a little better towards yourself in the way that you eat things. Again, don't go crazy with it. Anything you try and drastically change usually doesn't work the best because you're flipping your whole life all of a sudden. So some positive thoughts, eating a little bit better. The other thing is exercise. You don't need to go crazy with this either, but a nice brisk walk for 10 minutes. Maybe going to the gym. I play basketball, pickleball, volleyball. I do different things that give me energy, because when you're in the same routine and the same energy patterns over and over, your energy pattern stays like this. It's always just kind of sticking with whatever you're used to. You want to get uncomfortable. You want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So you want to do things like, hey, maybe today you didn't have anything on your plan, so you're going to go, I don't know, go for a walk with your dog, or you want to go to a new restaurant you've never tried. When you start to change your energies, your energy pattern starts to change as well. I told my girlfriend this when I first met her back in November. She's been doing different things like yoga or going to different places with her friends in Florida. And ever since I've taught her this, she can already attest to the fact that things have changed in her life. You meet new people, you have new experiences, your brain starts to process things different. And you'll notice that, hey, maybe I went to the gym for 10 minutes today and I wasn't going to go yesterday, and now I feel better. Your brain is starting to connect different neuro pathways called neuroplasticity. You're starting to connect different pathways in your brain that bring new energies about. Again, you don't have to completely change your life, but if you stay in the same energy pattern, you're going to continue to get the same energy over and over. The other thing too is don't blame yourself for things. Don't, practice a lot of self-love. Do things you love to do. I like going to the gym. I like getting massages every so often. I like every Sunday I eat a little bit extra food because it's my one day to cheat. But doing things that you love to do. A lot of people don't do that because they are either stuck in a pattern or feel like someone's going to judge them or things like that. You need to practice self-love. That is a huge part of raising your vibration. And being present in the moment. This is something people talk about all the time, but being present in the moment. One second, I'm going to get some water. Being present in the moment is one of the biggest things you can do because you start to notice things in your life that you never noticed before. So a lot of us live in either the past, which we talked about trying to eliminate some of the things that you already have. You don't want to live in your past. You don't want to live in the future because you're hypothetically speaking. How many of us do this where we say to ourselves, okay, I'm going to be X, Y, and Z in 5 years, that never comes to fruition. Or maybe you have like this work thing where something happens at work where like maybe you have a meeting with your boss and you think of 40 different scenarios that are going to happen. You go in there and none of them come to fruition. You really want to think about starting to be present now, because it starts to raise your vibration. You become aware of what's going on inside of your body. Imagine if all the energy you used for anxiety, for maybe you're depressed or sad or all these different scenarios, if you use that progressively now, instead of wasting it all for some hypothetical future that may never come. Okay. Again, no alcohol. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. It is your life. You are your own being. But I will tell you that is a poison you're putting in your body. If you stop drinking alcohol, one, your brain works better. You'll notice you'll have less anxiety just in general. Your body doesn't feel like shit. And the other big thing is when you're not poisoning yourself all the time, that's like one of the lowest vibrational things you can do. So you're always bringing it down if you're drinking. Again, I'm not saying stop tomorrow if you have some beers or enjoy yourself. I'm just saying it doesn't help you at all. And the biggest thing that I've noticed, and I think that you'll love this, the biggest thing to raise your vibration is be you, your authentic self. I've learned the reason this energy came to me, this reason I was taught this, was because I never cared what people thought. I always would say hi to the 7-Eleven clerk who was having a bad day because maybe it changes Mary's day up. Or I would, at a drive-through or a restaurant, I'll be as nice as I can to the waiter or waitress because who knows what they're going through. I like to joke around. I like to enjoy my life. I like to have intellectual conversations. I was always comfortable being me. Now, I've learned a lot more about that. I'm the most comfortable being me now. But being your authentic self vibrates the most in the universe. You being you, that's what the creator or the universe made you. And when you start to connect with that, you start to vibrate an energy that you didn't vibrate before because you're being the authentic version of what the creator made. That is the biggest lesson I can tell you. In the beginning, June, July, August, when I was afraid, when I thought I was getting possessed, when all these things were happening, I had negative experiences coming to me. It's because all I was thinking with negative things, and it was not me. I've always been a positive person. But I will tell you, now that I've stepped into my own skin, I'm back to being me, just the healed and happy version of myself. Things start to come to you. Be your authentic self. Who cares what anyone thinks? Who cares if anyone judges? That's not any of your business. Everyone you know in your life has a different version of you in their head. Don't appease to what that is. Be your authentic self. You will raise your vibrations fast. I promise you will. Another thing, energy vampires. This is a real thing. I just call them that, but they are people, places, events in your life that you continue to go to that will drain you of your authentic energy. It's hard to understand, but you may understand it this way. There's probably somebody in your life that when you go to, or you talk to them, or you hang out, or a place you go to, you ever notice like for some reason you leave there, you didn't even do that much, but you feel so drained? They don't mean to do it, or the place doesn't mean to. It's just the natural energy they have about them that truly, truly is not in your best interest to be there. I've always been a person that had a lot of different friend groups, and I had to give a lot of those up. And what I've noticed from that was, one, I have so much more energy. I don't even have caffeine anymore. I feel great when I wake up. But the thing was, they were draining me of this. And because I always loved them and they were part of my life, I thought it was something I had to keep. It's a little rough because you're going to have to get used to it. But you need to eliminate those people from your life. And I'm not saying be mean to them. I'm not saying disregard them as not human or anything like that. But they will start, as you raise your vibrations, they will start to exit your life no matter what, because it's just a natural thing for the universe is when you're on the same frequency and vibration, things stay together. If they weren't meant to be there, they will start to vibrate out of your life. But again, could even be family. I've noticed that my dad and my stepmom, I love my dad and I love my stepmom. They're both great. But I've noticed that they tend to have a lot of negative thoughts. They tend to, and I'm not judging them. I just noticed this was for me, that I am not that type of being. I'm not that type of person. And I haven't really seen them that much. And it's not because I don't love them. I always love them. It's because I noticed when I'm in certain situations, it started to really drain on me. And I can promise you that the more people and events that you start to notice are doing these things, one, you're becoming conscious of your thoughts and your energy fields, because that's how you start to read energies, is you're noticing what's going on around you, which then comes in turn inside. But you're also learning that some people, that's just the way they are. You can't change them. You can't make them different. You can't force them to do anything. It's you need to just start to be able to say, all right, listen, I love you. I just can't be around right now as I'm starting to raise my own vibration. Okay. Also, don't lose yourself while you're doing all this. When you're becoming your authentic self and living the life you want to live, one of my biggest problems was I did a lot of things I thought needed to be spiritual because I didn't know what this energy was. I didn't know how to read it. And I thought I had to be perfect. I thought I had to be nice to every single person. I had to smile and wave at every person. I was so, in my opinion, so awkward towards the world because I thought I had to be this certain thing. Be yourself. Love what you're doing. It will raise your vibrations faster than really anything else can. Dreams and deja vu go back kind of into the meditation part. I will highly recommend this, and you will thank yourself for doing it. When you are meditating or when you are dreaming, of course, don't do it during it, but when you're done and you start writing these things down, I used to never remember any dreams, maybe here and there. Since I've been on this path, I've noticed that's just another realm that our soul lives in. It's sending you messages. It's sending you different places to be, people to meet. Start to write down right when you wake up, whatever you can. And I want to show you this real fast, but in my journal, I have wrote down dreams, and they're all over this thing. They're all over to where I've learned some of my dreams, not every single one, but some of them are starting to connect. So storylines are forming and they're teaching me different things to do. So start writing some of your dreams down. You will also notice that you'll be having deja vu moments where you'll just, I've been here before. That is your higher self telling you that you are on the right path of what's going to make you the happiest, what's going to make you the most useful, what's going to make you the most joyful person, because your higher self knows who you are better than anything. And the way I like to think of your higher self or your higher mind, here's your logical mind at the bottom of a valley. Your higher mind is at the top, doesn't live in time-space zones. And it's seeing down and guiding you to what best suits your life or what you want most out of this life, what your soul contract was for. And what you'll start to notice is that that's when these signs and synchronicities start to come up when you're on the path you want to be. So think about your highest self, which is the best, happiest version of you, guiding you along your path where your logical mind can't see this. This is where the surrender comes in. You're not giving up your life. You're giving up control to be in that flow state. So when you see angel numbers or a song comes on or a person calls you right when you were thinking of them, that's when you start to notice, hey, I'm on the right path. This is awesome, because it's just guiding you. You can't see past some of these. Be the seeker. Let it do its job. Your logical and rational mind will do its job communicating in the 3D realm in the world. Your higher self will start to give, almost like a coach, give you a treasure map. Think about it as to the best version of you. And I'm going to give you an example. Well, one, angel numbers. If you see them, you look at a clock and it's 111 or 222, or you see it on the license plate, start to think about what your thoughts are at that time, because your spirit guides or your angels looking over you are sending you a direct message that you're either hey, stop being negative or blah, 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 but start to realize what those thoughts are when that randomly comes up. Like if I looked at the clock and it was 1:11 and I was thinking something really great, keep going down that path. It's, hey, you're still on the right path. That is going to give you the meaning of these angel numbers. They help you. It resonates with what you're thinking about at that time. So start to think about those when you see different times. I'm going to give you an example of my synchronicity because everyone's is different. I could never tell you what's going to happen for your life. But when I first started this, I was just getting used to everything, getting used to the signs. And my spirit guides told me, go golf. You're having, and when I say go golf, I'm not saying they told me directly, go golf. I'm just saying that I was stressed out. I didn't know what I was doing. And I felt this feeling of like, get outside, be in nature. So I go golf, go with these 3 random guys, really cool dudes that I ended up meeting. And they were playing music. Never heard the song, I Can't Dance. And they were playing the song. I liked it a lot. I was like, that's cool. I've never heard it before. It's by Genesis. And I was like, oh, I like that song. I'll put it on my YouTube or on my podcast. Put it on. I then was like, oh, I don't have a car. What am I supposed to do? Something told me, hey, I know you've always wanted to get a car, like an Audi. Go get one. Felt it in my soul. When I'm there, I'm like, I can't do this. I just quit my job. I don't have any way to pay for this, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking about the guy's like, I'll be right back. Think about it. Literally, there's no music playing inside the Audi dealership. As I'm thinking about this and about to walk out, that same song that I never heard comes on and starts playing. So I was like, okay, that's a synchronicity. Sign for the car. Later on, I'm sitting there. This is a little bit later. Another example. I'm watching Duck Dynasty. I don't really watch that much TV, but I had one night where I literally had nothing to do. And I'm like, I'm going to relax tonight and do nothing. Flow state in your life is when your mind is calm and still and you're connected with your soul as deeply as you can be. And I'm thinking, I'm going, I feel great. I'm enjoying this. This is awesome. As I'm thinking about all this, I'm like, what is this? Why do I feel like this? Literally, as I say that, the guy from Duck Dynasty points at the screen and goes, that's called flow state. And I'm like, whoa, how did that just line up exactly? There are no coincidences in your life. I promise you that. I just wanted to give you examples of what they are. So you start to hear them, you start to pay attention to them because everyone's will be different. And they're not these like signs that get held up to go, here's a synchronicity. Maybe they can be. I don't know. I haven't had that experience. Other people I've talked to haven't. But you will start, when you start to be conscious of these things, the angel numbers, songs, license plates that maybe stick out to you. My mom's name, anytime I'm thinking about something great, always pops up. You will start to be conscious of these. And you will start to see them forming in your life multiple times. And then once you start to do that, they'll pretty much be like a daily occurrence. I have like 3, 4, 5 a day. I've already had 2 today. So you will start to be aware of them. I know this is a lot, so take what you can today and use it for the future. The other thing about that flow state, that's when you become in a very meditative state. You are calm, you are relaxed. You aren't having your mind go a million miles an hour, and you will start to see the world different. It's not going to happen overnight, but you will start to see your life is changing. You are seeing these signs, these things in your life, and talk to your spirit guides. The way I guess this is how they really came to me, is I was listening to Dolores Cannon. She's a great teacher. And I was not into it at all, but I said, listen, things aren't going well right now. I'll just try it. And I said, spirit guides, I would love to have a better job that I'm happy with. I want to find love again because I've been single for 4 years. And I want to start helping people rather than working at a finance firm. Said it for a couple nights in a row. About 2 weeks later is when this angel or alien or whatever you want to call it, or interdimensional being came to me. It could happen to you. I have no idea how everybody's life goes. I can just tell you, you usually have a team of spirit guides. Some have one, some have multiple. Talk to them. It's going to seem weird at first. I completely understand that because it was to me. I thought it was BS, to be honest. But I now know that they can't know what you want unless you're speaking to them. They want to help you. They love you. It could be family members, could be ancestors, but you made a deal before you came to this world. You signed what's called a soul contract. Dolores Cannon talks a lot about this. to where you agreed to do certain things in your life. And these spirit guides are there. Talk to them. You don't need to walk around all day going, I need this, I need this. Just start to ask things and watch how things start to pop up. Okay. The other thing is intuition. This, I think, is the biggest key to manifesting things in your life and finding even more synchronicities. Every person has intuition, and it is your heart, not your mind, your heart telling you this is the right path. This is what you're doing. When you start to raise your vibrations, when you start to change things in your life for the better for you, and you're using your heart, you will start to notice that your intuition is spot on. You find things out that you never knew before. Information comes to you that you never knew before. You will notice that your intuition grows with your vibrations. Things start to align themselves more naturally. So again, being calm, staying in the flow state, understanding that there is more to this world than just this physical being, talking to your spirit guides, your intuition starts to naturally go up. And don't doubt yourself. Please don't doubt yourself. You are a spiritual being having a human, your spirit having a human experience. And it is great for you to start using your intuition. If you're at a job you don't like, I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow. I went to a far extreme fast because when this being came to me, couldn't believe what happened. And I just thought the world was ending. And I quit my job. But I'm not saying do that. Live your life, but start seeing these things. Maybe I want to teach. Maybe I want to be a florist, whatever the case may be. What I found to be the most helpful is your higher mind or your best self, whatever you want to call it, sends you signals now. This is without anything. When you have passion, it's sending you a signal. Here, do this, do this, do this. This is what you want to do. This is what you love. When you feel that energy, start to go with it. Because the more you say, nah, that's not right, I can't do that, there's no way, and you have those limiting beliefs, the more you start to notice you're getting less and less of that passion, because your higher mind goes, if it's not going to follow, what's the point of keep sending it? So when you feel something, like for me, it was to be an energy healer and a coach. And when I get these, like now, I'm excited to talk to you. I want to do this for a living. This is what I am here to do. It's because this is the first thing in my life where my higher mind was like, do this, do this. This is what you're passionate about. This is what you love. And when you get those signals of passion, that is your higher self telling you, go for this. This is what you should do. And that's where that surrender comes in. You're not giving up control of your life. You are surrendering to the flow of the universe. You are learning to use your intuition for the best of your ability, and you will start to see that raises as well. All right. And just some random things for you. Following your passion, letting go of fears. Please don't be afraid. If this may happen to any of you, don't be afraid. Remember, there's a lot of different opportunities out there. The universe will start to send you. Use those opportunities. Okay. You know that it's going to be in your best interest when you're taking these steps and they continue to help you along your path. Keep utilizing the opportunities and being grateful for them. And embrace, the last thing for you is embrace the not knowing. If you embrace, hey, I don't really, you know what your logical mind knows, but if you go with, I don't know, it sounds awkward and weird, but when you don't know and you admit, hey, I don't know every single step I'm going to take, part of the surrender. All right. So again, that's a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. If you do have yourself some sort of meeting with, if something comes to you, a spirit, or maybe it's an alien, I don't really know what it was. It was just a light being. When it comes to you, don't be afraid. I was petrified, and I'm trying to teach people to not be afraid. Do you guys have any questions before this is over? We're almost at that 1 hour point, so I wanted to give you any time that you had or any questions. If there is anything, please feel free to type it at the bottom. I'd be more than happy to answer. All right, well, listen, I didn't get anything at the bottom. I wish you all the best. If you need any help with anything, if there's further things you want to go, you can always email me. It's Drazil6, DRAZIL6 @gmail.com. I have an energy healing website at invisibletouchcoaching.com. There's a lot of things that I'm doing to help people. If there's anything else that comes up, please feel free to reach out. I wish you the best. Love all of you. And again, just be calm. The more meditative you are, the better things can happen. Let me see what you said there, Sri. Call it invisible touch coaching just because this is an invisible, or it's an energy field that I have that I know it's, and I'm telling you, if somebody would have told me this, I would have never believed it a year ago. But I truly hope that something like this comes to you. If you keep believing, if you keep going with yourself, if you keep learning, you will notice that things will start to come into your life. Be the best version of yourself. I wish you all the best. Good luck with everything. And thanks for taking some time today. If anything else comes up, use that website. Be more than happy to talk to you. Okay. Take care, everyone.